Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andy Danauta. We want to specially welcome you to today's episode of Time Out with Charlie and Andy. And as always, I'm here with my wonderful wife,
Charlie Danauta. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for following us, guys. You've been following. We're getting those questions, and thank you so much for subscribing. For those of you that have been subscribing, for those that have not yet subscribed, we ask that you do. Today, guys, is a wonderful episode. We want to talk about something special that God has helped us, in our family. Married for about 6 years now. God has really helped us in this matter. It is the place of family. How far should you allow, or how close, rather, Charlie, should you allow your family to get to in your relationship or in your marriage? You see, quite a number of people have made this mistake. You just flung open the doors, and they just entered so quick and so fast. Somebody said this thing, Charlie, got my attention. Said that some women fight or quarrel with their husbands. They rush off to their houses to go and tell their family members. After telling their family members, they come back home, they settle the husband, and then to the family, the man is Lucifer's cousin.
Yes.
But so to her, he's still her husband, her wonderful angel that she married to. And so how far should we allow, how close should the family get? Some is about the trouble of having a sense of entitlement when they're in the house, and it can come from the husband's side, and it can come from the the side of the wife. And especially in Africa, Charlie, I think it affects a lot of men, because the men, especially their relatives, feel that it's their house.
Yes, so
the woman, where did we know you from? Dan, you are coming to say all of these things. And so how do we bring about? So we want to help you. God has really helped us. Our families have that balance. We know there is a space they don't encroach into, and they know it. And so God has helped us to keep that honor going, keep that respect going. Nobody has ever disrespected anybody from both families, and it has been good. We want to share a little bit about that with you guys today. I'm sure it is going to help some of you guys out there, right, Charlie? You want to say something?
Yeah, first I'll say it has to be an agreement between both.
Very true.
Both partners, that you have to agree that these are the boundaries or the limits to which we are placing for our families to be involved. Because if it is just one-sided, like just the woman that has the knowledge of the boundary or the man, then there can still be intrusion from family where whatever way they like.
Very true.
So if the man's brother feels that this is his brother's house and could come in and just keep bossing the woman around and say, okay, serve me this, cook this, and the man comes back and feels comfortable with it and say, of course, my house is my brother's house, it triggers a whole lot of trouble. But once there's an agreement, you come to my house is not just my house alone, it's for both of us. We're now married, the two shall become one. So if both parties would just agree, we love our family both, and when we get married, both families become our families. So we have to consider both family. But when it comes to the place where one side of the family is trying to really pull off something that shouldn't be, we have to still come back together and sit down and talk about it and say, no, we have to address this. If we agree, if they come to speak to this person and the same thing comes out, they come to speak to me and the same thing comes out, they have no option than to just follow what has been set out. So this has brought a lot of trouble. I remember one time my husband and I were to travel, and his other brother's house, the wife would always say, whenever you want to come, it's your brother's house, can't you just come anytime you want to come, there's no problem. But he has the understanding that though it is his brother's house, his brother is now married, the wife matters, her decision to matters. They built this home together. He didn't just build it alone. So you can't just remove her because it is your brother. So what and you just say it's his money. It means that you are just concluding that she never contributed anything, which is sometimes not possible. Sometimes they build together. So he calls the wife and tells her, okay, this is what we are doing, because he acknowledges her place in the house. So once there's an agreement and there's this understanding of maturity, we can eliminate such stress.
Thank you so much, Charlie, for that. Now, I want to talk about how much information your family should know about your marriage. Now, there are certain information that, to be very honest, you shouldn't. I want to start from the guys. Now, very simple, your financial status. You don't need to put it out on your you know, the family page, or you keep talking about it. Hey guys, they just increased my salary now. Hey guys, they just what? Hey guys, they just hey guys, and all of that. It's good, it's great that they know that you're promoted and all of those things like that. But sometimes, Charlie, this is it. You go and give out too much information, and you know, one time, you know, your family comes knocking at the door, and then they say, hey, we need this and we need that, and you say, oh, sorry, we all of those things. I've seen quite a number of people. Always the blame goes to the woman.
The wife.
They say the woman is very wicked. She's doesn't want anybody to eat this man's
all
money.
The money alone.
And most of the times, Charlie, or rather, you know, all the ones I've seen, most of them, it's not really the woman's fault. She had no say concerning that money. Real for real, the man had nothing to give, and he just made that. So sometimes it's even information. There are certain things that, okay, we're trusting God, me and my wife, we must not go and tell the world about it, and all of those things. And so please, we're saying, even concerning coming home, concerning bringing somebody, relatives home and all of that,
stay over.
You know, thank God, Charlie, quite a number of people are getting enlightened in Africa. You know, back then, you know, it's your brother's house, it's your cousin's house, it's, you know, it's our house. In fact, they called the woman our wife.
Our wife.
So do you call your wife when you want to get back home? No,
you just go home.
You just appear home and like James Bond and they say, hey, I'm here. And so everybody should be happy. Anybody that is sad is an enemy of the state. And so this kind of things, you know, should not be like this. We're getting more enlightened, and you know, I can't imagine, Charlie, somebody, maybe my cousin or a brother somewhere will come to the house, and then, you know, I'm a minister. You know, and you know, not just because of that, I honor my wife is also a minister. She goes out to minister too. I can't imagine somebody, my cousin coming and then telling her no, he wants his tea with Bonvita, with Milo, with this one, and we are age mates or something. It's an elderly cousin and all of that. Of course, madam, you know, I want it like this, or like very great. If there's somebody, you know, somebody to help in the house, we can. But not what I'm trying to address is the sense of entitlement. You know, you shouldn't give your relatives that sense of entitlement. And if you keep giving them, they keep increasing it. You tell them to take 2 kilometers, they can take 5, they can take 7. So we're saying, even for the woman, you should not just tell, well, your mother can show up at the house at any time, your father, your brothers, everybody in the house can show up at any time they want, you know, without a proper notice. The man will feel isolated, and if, you know, every time he tries to address that, because Charlie, quite a number of people do that, when the man tries to address it, or when the other partner tries to address it, they say, you don't like my family.
True.
If I remember one time we were dating, they can bring one crazy event that happened when they were dating, you know, and then this happened, oh, maybe I even married wrong, I don't know what my family did, they were nice to you, in fact they reduced bride price for you, and now that's how you pay them back, and all of those things like that. So we're saying it shouldn't be like that. Information should be restricted, right? There should be limitations, there should be limits on how much information you share, especially financial, you know, information about these things, you know. And then you know, now, Charlie, I want you to comment about something before we wrap this up for today.
Okay.
It's about those people that were mommy's girl. The girl was pretty close to her mother, and the guy was really close to his mother. You know, we have mommy's boy.
Mommy's boy.
So how do you deal with, in terms, you know, the one for the lady, you're very close to your mother, and you know, you literally tell her everything, and the man is not really comfortable with it. So how can the lady, you know, just partner with her husband to deal with this? And the woman too, the mother has a entitlement thing. I must know. How can you say this thing happened and I didn't know? And so how do you handle that, Charlie?
Okay, I would use myself. I used to be mommy's girl. Share everything with my mom. I'm very, very close with my mom. When I got married, I would say that it has to do with maturity and understanding, like we said in our last video, emotional intelligence. You have to understand these things, that your mom is married with her husband and doesn't have anybody coming to poke nose or harass her in her house. You can't allow her to do the same for you. God forbid, one day they will have to leave this earth, and then you'll be left. If you allow her to just intrude in everything, when your mom is not around, who do you run to? I had to learn that early enough to know that I have to learn how to handle stuff myself. Lately, we've not only been having daddy's mommy's boy, we now have daddy's boys too. Yes,
yeah, very true.
Who cannot take decisions on their own. They have to.
Wow,
Yes.
very
Daddy
true.
this, they are working in a company, he wants to know everything. Daddy, I did this, I did that. So we have less and less of men who are taking the responsibility of being a man. We now have shields that we hide behind. So I had to learn that early enough to just stay away, try to manage things myself, involve God. The third party in this marriage for us is God first, before any other person. We have not involved anyone, just God. We invite him and he takes care. And so far, God has helped us.
Very true.
So you have to be matured enough to know your mom has a wonderful home. Give yourself a chance to have a good home too. You don't have to always run to go and tell your mother everything. You give your mom a different picture. Or even if it's the guy, you don't always have to go and gist with your dad or your mom and tell him about your wife. You give them a different picture of your partner. So they begin to see this person through that lens. While you have now worked things out and have moved on, and you will love that they begin to love her back. Well, you cannot just switch them like this. That's why you have to be careful. The things that you see or you share with your family. So limit how your family or your mommy's boy, daddy's boy gets involved.
Thank you so much, Ali. Now, to wrap this up, this is all we're saying here, guys. Very simple. You have to know this. Sharing every information with your mother or your father or your relatives is not really a sign of love, all right? You know, quite a number of people, Charlie, feel that, it's love. I love them, so I have to share. No, there are healthier ways to show that you love your mother, you love your father. You don't have to go back to share everything with them. I love my parents. She loves her parents. We don't still tell them everything, and they know we love them. So it is not really a sign that you love them and all of that. So we're saying there should be limits, and those limits should be discussed as partners. Those terms and conditions or rules of engagement should be discussed with your parents. All right, guys, make sure you add the number on your screen on your WhatsApp. We'll have a group waiting for you to continue on this discussion. We want to hear your experience. How has this encouragement affected your relationship or your marriage? Until we see you again next week or tomorrow on WhatsApp. God bless you. Bye from Andy and Charlie.
Yeah, bye-bye.
See you.
Yeah.